What it do, YouTube? It's SS, and I'm back with another video on this one right here. This one right here. Well, this one right here, as you guys can see right there, I am powering up this best buddy, Hundo Bellsprout, and we're gonna have some fun in the Great League. Why not? It is lower ranks. I am about the best buddy is, so we'll be level 51. But yeah, if you guys enjoy these kind of videos, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff because that was a lot of Stardust. That was half a mil. But not only that, I did do these battles on Twitch. So if you do like to go watch these battles happen in real time, link in the description as always, and also to the Discord if you do want to join the Discord. And there's a little twist with this team. I am actually running Bubble Jellicent instead of Hex. Bubble does help out with the Vigorons, so I did elect to go with Bubble. I think I might actually like Bubble a little bit. I think Hex generates energy a lot faster, but Bubble does a lot more damage, and especially now with the buff that it got. But anyways, let's just get into these battles as we do one shot. The Talonflame, they come into a lowly Marowak, and we're just gonna go for the Rock Slide. They do go ahead and shield, and now we're gonna go for the next Rock Slide. Do they want to shield this one as well? And the answer is no, they don't want to, but it does massive damage, and we're trying to get to another one when we end up getting KO'd with the move, which is not good for us. But either way, we got the Bubble Jellicent, and now I can go ahead and shield this. Oh, I remember this game now. But yeah, so we go ahead for the surf, and I try to go for the catch because I did get my defense drop, and they were at the back-to-back. So now at this point, I gotta hope to KO this Marowak, and we do get enough energy to KO the Marowak. They're gonna come into a Wish Cache, but at this point, this Wish Cache is going to be able to make it to 2 Mud Bombs. And unfortunate for us, we're gonna end up losing the first game. I did put some video. I did put some fun games at the end. I did like 5 sets with this team, and I got 2 positive sets that I went in the first set and the second set, and then the rest were 2 threes. So I just picked a couple of battles from the other sets, and I just mashed them in together at the end of the video. But the first 2 sets are actual legit sets, and then the other ones are just battles. So yeah. As we do see the lantern, and they're gonna go ahead and let it go through. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this go through. It's just a surf. I'm gonna farm up a little bit extra, knowing I can make it to another move. I'm gonna go ahead and go for the rock slide just in case they do catch, or even it's just less energy. And I should have just did the rock slide there, but I didn't. Now I'm gonna go ahead and throw instantly, and I shouldn't have did that. I should have just came into my. I should have just went for. I should have just did another hex, another bubble, and they're gonna come into a town flame. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the surf. Now I'm gonna go ahead and catch. So Bellsprout hasn't really did anything so far other than being a third shield, but I'm pretty sure in the next battles we're gonna see it put in some work. Especially, I think it's this set that Bellsprout did a lot of work in. So you guys will see that. And now I am gonna go ahead and shield the next Scold as they do shield the Surf. I'm gonna try to make it to a Shadow Ball, make it to a Shadow Ball, and at this point, it's not gonna be enough, but 2 more bubbles is gonna be enough to go ahead and KO that Poliwrath, and we're gonna be able to take that game. So we're gonna hop into the next battle. We're gonna see Jellison in to say, "Well, this is not a very good lead, but I'm gonna go ahead and stay in just a bit, try to get some energy here." At this point, I know I got to shield one because I got to protect my Jellison just in case there is a Medicham in the back. I'm gonna go for bait here, expecting them to shield, but at the same time, they already got my shield, so they don't have to shield. So now I am gonna switch out into my Cradily, and they're gonna come into a Talonflame. Talonflame is up 2 shields. Well, is up a shield, and we're down a shield, so this is not good for us. But either way, I'm gonna go ahead and let this go through. It's just a flame charge. I'm gonna go ahead and farm up extra. I get to the move here, and we're pretty low at this point. I am back almost back to back, or I'm at back to back. Oh, I'm 1 away from back to back, and then so they try to farm me down, and because they try to farm me down, we actually able to make it to another move. And because I know that I'm close to a surf here, I instantly swap out because I don't want the say why to get any more farm. And in the back, there's gonna be a Dewgong, and this Dewgong is not looking good for our Bellsprout because Bellsprout is actually very weak to the ice typing. So it is looking really bad for us, but we'll see how we turn this around or something. And now they are gonna KO our Jellicent, so now at this point I'm waiting out the clock so I can try to potentially catch here. I'm coming to my Bellsprout. I'm gonna do two. I'm gonna let them do two ice shards, and then I'm gonna go for the catch. And because I ended up catching there, I'm gonna be able to make it to the power whip right before they make it to their move. I think it was like one turn before, and we're gonna be able to take that game. And Bellsprout is putting in the finest of work now. And now, as we do see Bastiodon in the lead, and these are all in order. So, like the first two sets, they're in order, and then the rest after that. So the first 10 battles are in order, and then the rest are from different sets. As they do come into a victory bell at this point, I'm gonna go for another surf, hoping to get a shield, but we don't get a shield. Now I'm gonna come into my Cradily. I'm gonna make sure to farm up and throw on good timing here. Since we did get the 0-turn swap, they are gonna like the start shielding there. Now at this point, I don't really want to shield, so I'm gonna go ahead and let this go through, hoping it's not a leaf blade. It is a leaf tornado, and we live at 1 HP. And now we're gonna be able to get the next shield. And now at this point, I'm gonna come into my Bellsprout, farm down, because at this point I'm expecting there to be a Medi in the back. And guess what? There is the Medi. Look at that Medi. So now I'm gonna go ahead and throw the power whip here, and you guys will see this power whip does so much damage. That does like almost 50% health of the Medicham. And they are going to throw a psychic as I do swap out. They're going to come back into the Bastiodon. I am going to go ahead and shield my Jellicent here. And now at this point, I'm trying to figure out a way for Bellsprout to end the game and win the game. So now we are going to be able to make it to a move. I make it to one more surf, and these bubbles are starting to add up, especially on the, like this is why I chose bubble, because it does very good up against the normal types like Licky Tongue, Vigoroth. That is now a thing, and we're actually going to be able to farm down the Bastiodon with our Bellsprout to make it with a power whip, and we're going to be able to actually KO the Medicham, and we're going to be able to take that game. So now we're gonna see Jellicent into Deoxys, and this is, I guess, where we want to see it, because I don't want it on any either of my back mons. But either way, they do end up shielding the Shadow Ball. No, this is going to be a Thunderbolt unless they're running Rock Slide. They end up swapping out, and because they swap out, I go into my Cradily. But I probably should have went into my Bellsprout, but we're going to see what we could do here. Now at this point, I am going to farm up, and I am going to be able to throw the grass not on very good timing here. And they are going to go ahead and shield. Now I'm going to go ahead and let this go through, because we know we can live a surf. I think they need 3 surfs and the zeros to KO, so this is actually pretty good for us. So now at this point, I am going to go ahead and get to another grass knot, but they are going to make it to another surf. At this point, I thought about shielding, but I'm like, no, I'm just going to come in with my Jellicent, get all this energy here. We know there's a Deoxys in the back, and they actually come back into the Deoxys. So now I'm going to go ahead and throw the Shadow Ball. They swap out into a Gligar. At this point, I am going to be, I think I let this go through. Yeah, I let this go through. It's just the aerial ace. Now at this point, I am one bubble away from the next surf. And I think I just go straight for the farm down. I'm at a move. Uh I tried to swap out, but it wouldn't let me swap out, so I just did a fast move to make him throw. And now he threw, so now I'm gonna go ahead and shield this, and that Vine Whip's gonna KO, and Bellsprout's gonna be able to take that game at the end with full health. As we do get a 4-1 in the first set. I think the next set we go 3-2. And I will be dropping more videos. I did this one first just because it was a little bit more spicier. I think the other team that I ran was Cradily, Azumarill, Cradily, Azumarill, Swampert, and that's kind of like a hardcore meta team, like kind of more like meta type. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to release that. I did want to release some more fun battles before I released that video. Those were my first battles as well. So yeah, kind of went hardcore meta. Well, good Pokemon at the beginning of the season instead of using some spice Pokemons like this. But either way, now we're gonna see Azumarill into our Cradily. I'm farming up a lot of energy, and now I think I am at the back-to-back, so I am gonna be able to get this grass knot off. As we do get some lag here, I'm not too sure what's going on now at this point. They're gonna come into a Medicham. It looked like they lagged. Maybe they were trying to get the third shield. I don't know, but either way. They're gonna come into a Medicham. They're gonna be able to farm me down. And now we actually have the alignment, so I can come into my Jellicent. And now at this point, they come into a Bastiodon. And I'm like, man, this looks kind of tough. So now at this point, I'm gonna have to you get a use out of Bellsprout, and poor Bellsprout is just gonna get sacrificed here. And now we're gonna be able to actually start getting up these serves. We're at the back to. I thought they were at the move, so I thought they were gonna throw right away, but they didn't throw, which kind of threw me off. So at this point, I am gonna go ahead and shield this. I am getting close to range where a psychic is probably gonna be enough to KO. And lucky for me, they actually throw a nice punch that I overfarm just a little bit, and just to make sure that it's in the surf. I don't think the surf was gonna be enough, so I just go for the shadow ball. I am one away from the next serve. You get to the serve, and the Bastiodon goes down, and we're going to be able to take that game. So now we're going to see Jellicent into Swampert. And this is actually one of the reasons why I put Jellicent in the lead, because of the Skarmories, because of the Talonflames. Jellicent was actually very good. I just needed coverage for Jellicent, and just in case they were more flyers in the back, I chose Cradily and a mud boy answer, Swampert answered. I just ended up taking Bellsprout, knowing that I had a hundo and it was already best buddied, and I was gonna power up regardless. As I do get the farm down on the Wigglytuff, now I'm gonna switch out, and I know I have two grass type Pokemon, so I'm gonna be able to actually live this move. Whatever it is, they just go for the Hydro Cannon, which is fine. So I'm gonna be able to throw one more bullet. And I'm like, are they weak to grass or what's going on here? Because they're staying in, and I don't understand here. Or is it a Talonflame? If it's a Talonflame, we're gonna be kind of in a bad position. So I come into Bellsprout. We're actually gonna be able to farm down, and now in the back, it's just another Charmer. It's a Gardevoir, and we're actually gonna get KO'd with the move, which kind of sucks for us, but okay. But it's okay. We actually end up making it to the Shadow Ball, KOing the Charmer, and Swampert double charm is no more. So now we're gonna see Jellicent into our Jellicent into a Dragonair. I don't know what I'm talking about, but either way, because I do these in one takes. I don't really chop them up. I just like doing them in one takes. So it's just kind of like a freestyle off of whatever I'm saying. So if I mess up, I kind of mess up. But I've been noticing I don't really say anymore. So this is really good for me. And now as I do say it right there, but I've noticed I haven't said it as much. And now we're gonna be able to actually make it to a Shadow Ball right as they swap out. They are gonna go ahead and shield. I'm gonna swap out into my Cradily. They are gonna throw a move here. Am I gonna go ahead and shield? I am gonna shield, and this is the Earthquake, so I do make a nice prediction on that. I do make it to another move here as they do. They are gonna make it to another Earthquake, which kind of sucks for me. So if I need to live this, I can get this Grass Knot off, and I do actually live it. And I try to farm them down, but they swap out into a Talonflame. This Talonflame is gonna be one shotted by the Cradily, and then one more Bullet Seed to take down the Swampert. And Bellsprout is not gonna see any action that game. Kind of sucks. This time we're gonna see a quarter breaker, so I need to see this in the lead, and I think I misplayed this, and yeah, I misplayed this really bad. So I do end up playing it good here, and then I do end up baiting here. I do believe I get the shield at this point, which is still good for me. But at this point, I should not be baiting. I should just go straight for the Shadow Ball. And but nope, expecting them to shield again. But the opponent said no, I am not gonna shield. And now at this point, um, I'm gonna try to farm down, but I realized that the Shadow Claws is probably gonna farm me down before I make it to a move, so I end up swapping out, keeping the move, and then now they're gonna come into a Poliwrath, and since we're down in the zeros now, it's just gonna be really tough because that Poliwrath does have some energy. So at this point, I guess I come into my Bellsprout hoping I can make it to a move or try to catch on Jellicent, but no. But another thing, what I probably should have did was came in Jellicent through the Shadow Ball, hoping I could put it in range where I could Vine Whip it down before it gets to another move. or force it to throw a move. Maybe that's what I should have did, but unfortunately I did not do that, and we're gonna actually end up losing that game severely. As we do see a Dragonite this time in the lead up against our Jellicent, and we're gonna go for the Shadow Ball this time. I'm expecting them not to shield because I did bait the first time, and now they are gonna make it to another move. Gonna go ahead and let it go through. I'm gonna come into my Cradily. I'm hoping that they don't catch. It doesn't look like they caught, so they're either gonna give me the shield or they're gonna let it go. They do give me a shield at this point. They do CMP me, which is really good for me because if I live this move, I'm gonna be able. It's not CMP, okay. It kind of looked like it would have been, but I guess I got a refund there. And now we're gonna come out. Oh yeah, and Bellsprout's not gonna be able to do anything there, so I end up just top lifting. And yeah, so now we're gonna jump into some fun battles. That I thought Bellsprout put in a little bit of some work in. As we do see a Salandit, we do swap out. There it's gonna be an Emolga, and this Emolga is actually gonna do some very good damage. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna start shielding up some discharges. Probably should have shielded that move. As they do let it go through, but they do let us win that exchange. I try to go for the move, but I don't get the move off. And then now I'm gonna come into my Jellicent, knowing that they swapped in immediately, so the time they're still locked in here. And then they're gonna come into a Dragonair, and I'm like, okay, well, this is their last Pokemon, so they need to shield this, right? So they do shield. I'm gonna swap into my Bellsprout. I am gonna spin the shield here as I do go for the Power Whip, but I'm hoping I didn't CMP them. So I am gonna go ahead and go for the Sludge Bomb here. We do go for the Sludge Bomb, and I know they were at a move there, but they don't throw their move. I was hoping they didn't CMP me so I could keep the shield for my Jellicent, and exactly what happened. And now at this point, I'm hoping I can make it to a Shadow Ball before they farm me down. And I guess they realized that I was gonna make it to the Shadow Ball before they could farm me down, and they end up top left, and we're gonna be able to take that game. Now we're gonna see Umbreon into our Jellicent, which is not very good for us. So I swap into my Bellsprout. I am going to go ahead and shield. And look at these snarls. These snarls are chunking away. So I'm going to go make sure that I throw on very good timing. One snarl. And then I'm going to throw. And then at this point, I'm going to go ahead and let this go through. Hoping I can make it to another move. And it doesn't. Hoping it doesn't do a lot of damage. But it did so much damage that this next snarl here is going to be enough to KO, but I put it in range where I can farm it down with bubbles. I did have to spin the shield, but I think that's okay for me. It's an okay exchange, knowing that Bellsprout just only with two power whips, it was enough to take it down to the close to the red, I think. And now at this point, they're gonna come into Venusaur, which is pretty bad for me. And yeah, we'll make sure I throw in good timing, throw the rock slide. But at this point, this game's pretty much over. They're gonna make it to a frenzy plant. I do live it. I am gonna be able to tap it. We do get it off, but yeah, I'm not gonna make it to a surf before they make it to a move, and we're not gonna see their Pokemon in the back. So Bellsprout putting up work up against that. Yo, I cut that bad. I cut that bad. Up against that Umbreon, my bad. But anyways, now we're gonna see Justin into a Bastiodon, and we do end up getting the Baptiste. I should have been saying Baptiste. I kept saying CMP. Yeah, but the Baptiste, and then they're gonna switch out, and I expect them. I guess I expected them to switch out, so I go for the Shadow Ball. Now I'm gonna come into my Bellsprout because I'm expecting it to be like a flyer, a grass flyer in the back, and I can take a frenzy a lot better than the Cradily. So, but it's a Medicham in the back. Or was that the lead? I can't remember. But look at that. Look at the power whip. How much damage it did. Oh no, Sebastian. And then now at this point, I have to come into Jousting. I gotta shield this. It is the psychic, so I do call it correctly. And now I am gonna be able to make it to a surf here. And then they are gonna shield. I'm gonna throw right away. Hoping that they let it go through. but they end up shielding. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and swap out into my Cradily, and I'm going to go ahead and let them throw whatever they want because I don't have any more shields. I'm going to try to farm down completely, but they swap out into the Bastiodon, realizing I'm trying to farm them down. And um, now they're going to throw a flamethrower, trying to get the farm down, but I make it to a grass knot, and at this point, they just top left, and now we're gonna be able to take that game. Um, Now we're gonna see Jellicent into a Poliwrath, which is really good for us. They're gonna swap out into Lantern. As why am I saying now a lot? Dang. Okay, now we're seeing Lantern. We're gonna be able to make it to a grass knot here, and we're gonna be able to get it off. And they're actually not gonna shield, and I'm gonna farm up a little bit extra, but they do make it to a move. I know I can live a surf, so this is fine with me at the same time. I am gonna be able to make it to two grass knots, but they do switch out into a Skarmory, so I am going to be able to get two rock slides off, and they're going to be able to farm me down. One more swing attack, but I do have my Jellicent up against the Skarmory, and I am going to shield this, expecting the Brave Bird. It is the Brave Bird. Now I am going to go for the Surf here just to soften it up or get the shield, but they don't shield. And now I'm gonna go for the Shadow Ball, but I should have baited here. And because they're gonna shield, they do end up shielding. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and let this go through. It is gonna be the Scold, and we don't get the attack fall. I don't think we make it to another Shadow Ball. At this point, are they going to go ahead and shield? No, they don't. And now we're gonna go ahead and swap out into our Bellsprout, and we're gonna be able to snipe them. And they top left. Skarmory, we make Skarmory top left. Bellsprout putting in the finest of works. Now we're gonna see Jellicent to Azumarill, and this is okay for Azumarill. So um I'm not too sure. I guess either or could win it. It depends on how you want to play it, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and let this go through. They let theirs get through. I am gonna shield the next one because I don't want to, exactly as they do shield as well, because I don't want to lose my Jellicent just in case there is a Medicham in the back or some type of fighter. And now I am gonna be able to make it to another Shadow Ball, and they're gonna shield. I'm gonna switch out, try to catch, and at this point, I do believe they end up baiting me, so I end up catching a Ice Beam, which is not good for me. And now they're gonna come into a Skarmory. I'm gonna make it to one last final Rock Slide right before I even get KO'd here. And now I am gonna switch. I'm gonna come into my Jellicent. I'm gonna shield this. I need to get this Skarmory out the way, and because I was not able to. Oh yeah. But Bellsprout is going to be able to actually KO the Skarmory on CMP, on the Baptiste. And now they're going to come into a Swampert. And if we only had a shield or the energy advantage, we would be able to do something there. But unfortunately, we're going to end up losing. As we do see a Talonflame in the next one, they're going to swap out into a Azumarill. And we're going to come into our Bellsprout. And this is where I learned. I was like, yo, Bellsprout is pretty good up against a Azumarill. So I do throw right before they do make it to the next Ice Beam. So I am gonna go ahead and go for the Baptiste, as I do expect Bellsprout to win it. And now they do end up shielding, so I am gonna shield as well. And once again, I'm gonna farm up until they get to the move, and I am able to make it to the move. So does KO. They're gonna swap. I'm gonna swap into my Jellicent to, because I do have another answer for the Talonflame, and now they do come into a Charjabug, which is fine. And I don't believe this is enough to KO, so I am gonna make it to one last final move here, and now I'm gonna be able to KO it, but they're gonna be able to incinerate me down. Now I am gonna come into my Cradily at this point, and I need to make it to a move before they make it to back-to-back moves, and I do believe that I make it to a move before they do, and we're gonna be able to take that game. Bellsprout putting in the finest of works. And I do believe this is probably the final battle, as we do see another Talonflame, and they swap into a Cradily, and this is not looking good for us. And I am gonna go for the Surf. Probably should have went for the Shadow Ball, but I am able to catch a move here, and the grass. But they do end up throwing the grass line, which kind of sucks for me. But either way, I'm gonna go ahead and let this go through. Now I'm gonna go for the Rock Slide as well. I do believe I'm at back to back. One more bullet seed is going to be enough to KO. They're going to come into a Talonflame. I am going to be able to get a shield here at this point. And now I'm hoping I can make it to another move, but I don't. But I'm going to go ahead and shield this just in case it has Brave Bird, because I have seen some Talonflames been running Brave Bird. They're going to come into a Wish Cache. I'm going to go ahead and Shadow Ball it. They're going to throw a move here. And then now I am going to go ahead and swap. I'm going to farm down right before they make it to uh, a mud bomb here, and now we're in one Incinerate, but we're one away from the sludge bomb. We make it to the sludge bomb. They no shield, and now I'm gonna be able to farm it down before it makes it to back-to-back moves, and we're gonna be able to take that game. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next video.